I'm here today to present to you a petition of 10,146 people of Monroe County who have signed this, stating that we would like to have the General Custer statue that is centered in the heart of Monroe moved to a museum or more historically appropriate place.
As long as this statue stays up, we stay complacent and in denial of the racism in our own community.
If you have a statue in the middle of your town to a man who allowed his soldiers to desecrate human corpses, you do have to stop and question why.
Your history is our reality. Since doing this, I've had racial slurs aimed at me, threats of violence that's actually being pursued by Monroe PD, and there's been death threats to other members.
Systemic racism has always been here among us, and right now, with all of the negative attention Monroe is receiving, we really have a chance here to do something good to bring the community together.
For everybody who is a person of color, it's a symbol of fear. It's a symbol of hate. Yeah. It's a symbol of genocide. Yeah. And that, to me, should not represent the city of Monroe, and it shouldn't represent us as a country, the United States of America.
White supremacists use this as motivation.
This man is not my hero. He's not any of my relatives' hero. And we, as a people, the indigenous people of Michigan, were here first. We were once the majority. Now we're less than 2% of the population, thanks to people like George Custer, a genocidal murderer.
To us, that genocidal threat is what we see when we see the statue of George Custer in the city of Monroe.
You would not believe how much pushback we're getting from other Native Americans and indigenous people that are refusing to coming to Monroe because they say, and I quote, "We're not coming to Custerville. We're not coming to a place that idolizes a murderer."
White society writ large is complacent, and therefore we're complicit.
No longer will only white voices be heard. We want everyone part of our community to be heard.
People of color will always feel like they are the other in a town which continues to memorialize mass genocide.
I am Anishinaabe. I am from the Potawatomi Nation. My people originally inhabited this land. And the one concern I have is throughout every single plaque and memorial, there is nothing telling of Potawatomi people.
With that, I would deeply, sincerely ask you to take into account what all of these citizens have to say.
Like, it just makes no sense that we have a statue of a murderer, a rapist, just somebody that represents everything evil in the world in Monroe, really.
You can't commemorate and you can't mythologize figures like that.
I know the young women that are, only 30 years old now, whose grandparents were killed and great-grandparents were killed in some of these things.
The city has placed George Custer upon a pedestal and showcases him as a hero without acknowledging the controversies surrounding his legacy.
I have heard that sentiment shared by many Native American people about not feeling welcome in Monroe due to the Custer statue and his legacy being associated with the city.
He doesn't deserve to be deified in a bronze and marble in front of a church in the center of our city.
Our whole movement is about love and healing and reconciliation.
People of color don't get to ignore racism in the same way they don't get to ignore the statue in Monroe.
Everybody teaches their children differently, and whereas some of us might drive by the statue and say, "What a great man," others of us ride by the statue and shake our heads, and it invokes trauma and PTSD and all types of other negative feelings.
Our bones are in the ground. Our blood is in the soil in Monroe.
And I just ask that you respect that and respect them, respect us.
It's time to take care of our minoritized citizens.